Hello all, thought I might make a video of this new command cruise control system for my 1967 Holden HR. I first got introduced to this type of system from Brenton Webb at the South Australian Holden Nationals last year. I drove the car over to Murray Bridge, and Brenton Webb also had a HR ute. Didn't drive his car, but he trailered it from Kalgoorlie, which is a fairly decent trip as well. Anyway, he had this cruise control system on his car, but with a pneumatic actuator rather than electric actuator. I understand that they have not been selling this for 4 years, although parts have been available and continually being sold because of the troubles with the pneumatic actuator. So just recently, just before Christmas last year, I happened to ring them up 2 days before Christmas. They were terribly excited that they managed to secure a new batch of this system with an electric actuator. And as I understand it, I purchased this as part of the first batch of 500 units. So, an unboxing, I've already unboxed it. I'm not going to be one of these people to pretend I haven't unboxed it. But I have put it back together, and what comes out of the box is I have a manual car, so you get a clutch switch. It's like a brake switch for your brake pedal. It's exactly the same, but it disengages the cruise control when you push your clutch in. So we'll add that. You get your panel, control panel. I can try and open that up now. Just give me a minute. This is a standard one that comes with the kit. There is a Bluetooth option and also a stock version on the column, but I just wanted to go for the standard option. Wire it up, that'll sit in the ashtray. Another little idea Brenton showed me. Fits conveniently inside the HR ashtray, the wires hang out the back. So that's that. I also bought a proper cable connector, cruise control cable connector, rather than the kit has one in which you crimp or clamp the cable that comes in this kit to the existing cable in your car, but I thought definitely this is a better way to go without damaging the existing cable. $45 from Rocket Industries. I happened to be in the area and picked one up out there at Eastern Creek in Sydney. Anyway, so let's open this one up. Yep, so first off you have the very beefy electronic actuator. Looks, feels good quality, and I'm told overcomes completely the pneumatic actuator issues, which incidentally was only had problems with twin carbies and carburetors that had a heavy accelerator pedal, but nevertheless they still have problems, and this one will solve that problem apparently. You get a couple of pulleys there, I believe. Reading the instructions, you've got to be careful to make sure you select the right pulley. So if I understand it correctly, you have a pulley that doesn't pull your cruise control cable longer than your normal cruise control cable. For obvious reasons, you don't want to hyperextend your normal accelerator control cable, so I've got to work that one out. Brackets for the electric actuator, they give you two. I'm only going to use this one. I'm lucky in where I'm going to hopefully be able to mount it. It's very simple on my one. You get the box which has all the brains in it. That goes inside the car, away from electronic interference, etc. all good there. Get your wiring loom from the actuator to the box, and you plug it in, push that through the firewall, and plugs into the actuator. Your wiring loom, I'm not going to go into this. There's a very clear single line diagram in the instructions. It's pretty straightforward. Yep. I will be using the yellow wire and running my cruise control off the tacho out of my ICE electronic ignition. Again, I'm pretty lucky. I don't need to put magnets on the tail shaft or try unsuccessfully fitting a gear cog to my my speedo cable in the gearbox. The good thing, I'm not sure if it's a recent thing, I feel like it is, that you can control your cruise control with the revs of the car, and with my electronic ICE ignition box, I'll have a nice true constant signal out of that, which will be able to control the speed of my cruise control nicely, which already I've connected to a tacho, and also does my fuel cutoff relay setup, which I've put under those boxes there. Anyway, that's fairly reliable from my end that I can see. Brackets, which I believe go onto, those ones go onto the actuator. Got to work that out, not sure yet. Some mounting brackets for various bits and pieces. This is your mounting bracket for the accelerator cable, cruise control cable. I'm only using this one. Again, I'm really lucky that I don't need this one or need to do anything weird. I just need to mount this on top of my existing accelerator bracket, and all I have to decide is whether I go that way or whether I go that way to hold the cable in. I'll probably go forward, to be honest. So that's pretty lucky, hopefully. The cable, of course, fairly good grade. Nothing much to be said there, other than I'll need to shorten it, and you can shorten the sleeve as well too. It's pretty straightforward. If you ever worked on BMX bikes back when you were a child, you'll know what to do with that there. Done plenty of that in the past. That's that clamping method onto the existing cable. As I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use that, which goes on the end of that, and there's a little grub screw which tightens that, and then that goes onto your lever arm, accelerator lever arm, which should be down in there. There's a few holes there. There's a couple of ways I could do this. I can either parallel the existing cable, which I'm inclined to do, and mount it onto, where's my finger? Mount it onto a hole just underneath there, and parallel the existing cable. You can only have a 20-degree offset, so you can mount it here or you can mount it there. I'm inclined to mount it up there and then come down to there. There might be a bit of crossover. I might need to worry about that. I might need to think about that. Yes, I can go this way. I'm thinking of mounting my electronic actuator up underneath there. Luckily, I've relocated my battery from, normally they sit here in a HR. I've relocated it here, and that's given me a nice little pocket to mount the actuator there, which is all nice and parallel and should hopefully work nicely. One proviso, the manual does say to keep it away 300 mils away or 30 centimeters away from electrical interference. Obviously an alternator is. Battery is not, unless it's faulty. But I'll have the steel tray in between that anyway. I'm thinking about putting a tray there if I have any issues. Just a bit of whatever. I've got something there already left over from a previous project. but I'm not going to worry about that for now. I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. It's 150mm anyway. So, where am I? Yep, obviously just some sticky pad. It's foam to protect the mounting of the box. It does suggest not to screw it in first before you get it all going. The manual's pretty detailed. It's very well worded. The guy from Command, can't say enough about him. I can't remember his name, but he's just really willing to help. He's awesome, super awesome. Castle Hill, I had no issues at all talking to him about whatever. There's lots of information in here which to be honest, I'm not 100% across. I need to read it a few times, but it is really well worded in terms of grammar and all that, so it should be fairly straightforward to read, but I'll need to read anything twice anyway. Single line diagram's excellent. Certainly gives you all the information you need. As you can see there, I've got the optional yellow tachometer cable, or you can run the cruise off your coil if you want to. I don't need to do these other tricky bits with the speedo cable on the jet glide gearbox or the drive shaft pulse generator. I'm just going to do the tach, and then there's my clutch. And there's a brake. That's all fairly straightforward. Wiring I have no issue with. That's what I do. Not for a living, but I know how to do it, so I'm all good with that. There's your servo. Oh yeah, there's that bracket there. Yeah, it's all pretty straightforward, although like anything I'm sure I'll get a hiccup here or there. Anyway, if you were wondering about buying one of these, as far as I can tell, it appears commercial grade, most certainly, good quality. The guy reckons they put these into helicopters. Yes, I could probably imagine that on a cattle station or something like that. I'm not sure about a proper helicopter, but anyway. Yeah, so I may or may not do some videos to show how I install it and how it runs. But yep, I hope this helps. If you've got any questions, I will try and answer it.